Good morning, church. It's good to be with you today. And today we're going to be in John chapter 2, hearing about the first sign that Jesus performed. And it's interesting because John uses the word sign. Signs are what point us in the right direction. And throughout the gospel, there are 7 signs that John identifies that Jesus did that point toward who he is. Beginning with water into wine here in chapter 2, we have the healing of the official son. That's a second sign there in chapter 4, culminating in the resurrection of Lazarus over in chapter 11. And so all along the way here, we get these pointers towards the person and work of Christ, what he's done and how he cares for us, what his power is, hints on the resurrection to come. I want to talk about this first sign because it seems kind of out of place compared to the other ones that are healing and more dramatic. But this one, he basically saves the party, the wedding party, which culturally was incredibly important. And to have failed to supply the proper food and drink for the wedding would have brought profound embarrassment on the family, though it wouldn't have necessarily cost them their lives. It might have cost them their social standing, financially perhaps. But Jesus comes in, and even though he is initially resistant, his mom intercedes for him, and Jesus works this miracle. What's so interesting is that he fills up these purification jars, and the water then in these purification jars is turned into wine, something new. And a couple things that's worth noting here. These purification jugs were like large things. They maybe held 30 gallons or so. That's what it says in chapter 6. And it's what they would plunge their hands into to get ready to eat the ceremonial meals or whatever. And so it's their hand washing station, so to speak. And they would do that to be cleansed. And as those are filled up and transformed into wine, the water in them, it gives us a clue that Jesus does a transforming work in our life. He purifies us and he draws out of us something that was never there before. It's not like the water just became better water. It became something completely different and the best form of what it could be. So in our lives, we are to experience through the purification of Christ that same kind of miracle. We're not going to become a better version of what we were. We are transformed into something new and the best possible version of what we could be. And we think, wow, there's these remnants of the old man. I don't feel like the best I could be. But he draws us in, and we remember he keeps telling us over and over, I've given you my Holy Spirit. You have the power and the ability. On a lesser level, this teaches us that Jesus cares about every aspect of our life. The other miracle that is Old Testament that I think relates to this is when the prophets that hung out with Elisha wanted to build a new house. They were cutting out logs, and the axe head slips off one of their axes and goes into the river, and the guy says, "Oh, my Lord, it was just borrowed." And Elisha, through God, works a miracle where he causes the axe head to float and they grab it. It's just a short little story, but it tells us our God cares about every little detail of our life, and he desires to provide for us as we turn to him and pursue him. So just remember that, church. Our God has transformed you into something new through his purification, something wonderful. And he cares about you and your life and every part of it. I love you, church. I look forward to talking to you soon again.